All right, we have head coach Jonatan Giráldez. Jason, go ahead.
Hi, Jonah. Thanks for speaking with us.
Welcome.
Congratulations on the win. I wanted to ask about it's kind of two different approaches to the first half, second half. First half, the press was obviously working quite well. And then in the second half, you had to control the game without really applying that press, more so just sort of denying them the spaces. I was wondering how you feel the group did seeing through those two different challenges.
Agree. I think the first half was perfect or almost perfect because in the end of the day we did concede a goal. But I think we made a brilliant first half, attacking and defending. We I don't know how many chances we create, but in the way that we were attacking, identify the spaces that we knew that we were going to have today. We did a good job, and defensively we identify also so good as a team when we had to press high, when we had to reorganize in the shape that we wanted to defend today. And the second half, we wanted to keep being aggressive, but the other team has to go for the game. They have to score goals. They are adding more players in the last meters, and you have to adjust. You have to be less aggressive. You have to concede less spaces between lines. You have to concede less spaces behind the defensive line, and I think we had the control of the game. Didn't feel that the team was suffering in any moment of the game. They had two, three corners, but no clear chances to score. And even we end the game in the other half pitch. So I think we did a good job today.
Uh, what do you attribute that to in terms of it's a pretty stark turnaround from last week when we were speaking, you were pretty clearly not happy with the performance, and it was some of these aspects, especially in the first half, that just were not present tonight. The team was kind of on it from kickoff. What do you attribute that quick turnaround to?
I think soccer are details. The other day, in three actions, we were about to lose the game, and we cannot afford ourselves that. We have to be perfect in our shape, in our movements, and as I always like to say, speak the same language, attacking and defending. And the other day, it was that never happened. I didn't think the first half that we were consistent in our role, especially the first 5 seconds after losing the ball. I think we create huge spaces defensively that we cannot afford. And the other team were lucky because they scored three goals so easy. And today we were working a lot on that. The reaction after losing the ball. When we are able to press, okay, the team has to go. When we are able to reorganize, we have to run behind and be organized to make sure that the team is not giving chances, giving spaces to the other team. Sometimes you need time to see, okay, that's what is happening. Now we have to react and avoid that happen. And I think Rose is a good example today. How she played defensively today, I am very happy with her. For me, she played the best game in the season today. I know people like when she scores, but the job that she has done today in terms of defensive actions, for me, is perfect. That's the level, that's the standard that we had to show.
Appreciate it. I'll pass the mic here.
Over to Luis.
Buenas noches, Coach. Felicidades por la victoria. Luis Rodríguez de la Línea por acá. 5-0 de visitante. Lo habíamos hablado la última vez que conversamos allá en Washington, que el fútbol es así, ¿no? O sea, me habías comentado que algún momento el año pasado trataron de que su casa fuera un fortín, pero este año ha sido al revés. O sea, ¿cuál tú crees que ha sido la cohesión del equipo para poder mantener, ¿verdad?, el alto nivel que corresponde para sacar juegos de visita?
Sí, porque en pretemporada hemos enfatizado sobre eso, el New Spirit Mentality Away que queríamos conseguir, qué actos durante la semana, los días previos al partido, justo antes del inicio del partido, durante el partido, en el medio tiempo, durante la segunda parte, qué tipo de hábitos y comportamientos queríamos tener. Es algo que hemos estado trabajando y enfatizando para ser un equipo, bueno, pues un equipo como estamos siendo, ¿no? Realmente estamos haciendo grandes partidos fuera de casa, estamos ganando todos los partidos que estamos jugando, hemos ganado cinco, pero realmente ha sido seis, porque la Challenge Cup también cuenta como victoria fuera de casa. Y bueno, este es el camino. Obviamente no estamos contentas con el rendimiento que estamos consiguiendo en casa y es algo que queremos revertir para intentar estar lo más arriba posible.
Te quería preguntar, mañana, bueno, hoy, en la costa este sábado, se juega la final de la Champions Cup, donde hay un equipo que está representando la liga. O sea, qué tan importante es para el nivel de la liga tener un equipo compitiendo en el campeonato más importante de clubes y es la primera vez que se va a sacar un campeón.
Bueno, yo creo que es positivo. Al final creo que da promoción a la liga. Es nuestra responsabilidad intentar, bueno, como siempre digo, ¿no? Intentar acabar lo más arriba posible, intentar ganar el mayor número de títulos posible. Es decir, siempre que haya la opción de competir por un título, pues intentar estar ahí. Y evidentemente, pues el trabajo que hizo Gozan la temporada pasada, perdón, hace 2 temporadas, está recogiendo sus frutos, teniendo la oportunidad de jugar una final importante este fin de semana.
Gracias.
De nada.
Over to Andre. Hey, Jonah, thanks for speaking with us and congrats on the win. Wanted to kind of follow up a bit on Jason's question. Given how many things that the Seattle Reign threw at you, the first half, they weren't really pressing. Then the second half, they pressed and they put on a lot of dangerous players, but it seemed like the Spirit were able to handle that. Does that kind of give you more confidence and kind of make this win feel a little bit more than the 3 points that the Spirit were able to handle so many things thrown at them in one game?
It's one of the things that I've been speaking with the players in the end of the game. Um, in the way that today we have competed is a good example about what we have to do every game. You can win, you can tie, you can lose, but playing like today is very difficult that we can lose any game. For sure, you can lose games, but you're going to be much closer playing as we played today. And it's just not because we beat the other press, it's because as a team, we were together, 11 players speaking the same language. First half, identifying really well the advantage that we have used inside back players, how we use our shape to find those players with easy progressions to go forward when we have the chance to press high, how we have to reorganize our shape defensive block when it's a good moment to go. And when you are connected, when you speak the same language, when all players are going the same direction, it's much easier that you can have success. In the end of the day, you are going to be closer to the victory. I always like to speak about deserve the victory, and today for sure we have deserved it.
Appreciate that. And you already touched on Rose, but I think a lot was made, especially, from people following the game of how good of a game she had. And you mentioned it defensively. How do you make sure that that's a consistent thing on the defensive end, but also balance it in attack because she is so devastating there as well?
Attacking, we know that she's a talent, all right? She creates a lot of chances every game, but in the way that we want to defend, for me, that's not enough. We need to emphasize a lot in the defensive movements and the behaviors, individual performance to make sure that she's helping the team. If you are only thinking when you have the ball, when you're attacking, soccer is attack and defend, right? And when you're attacking, you have to be ready for the transition. When you're defending, you have to be ready for defensive transition. So you need to be in a good spot on the ball and off the ball. So today she made a brilliant job defensively. Attacking, I know that she's a talent, but in the way that she has defended today also is a good example for her to know what the team is going to need for the future.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you and congrats again.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more each from Jason and then Luis.
Jonah, I want to ask a little about the way the game shifted in the second half. Obviously, as you discussed, you knew you would be pressing less, denying space more, things like that. But then Seattle throws some of their best players on in Fishlock and Biendolo, and then I think they moved. It looked like a 4-3-3 towards the latter stages. How did you manage? You mentioned not suffering. How did you manage to just sort of keep them sort of stuck 20, 30 yards from goal and not able to create those chances?
We had to change our shape in the minutes 70, 75 more or less, because they were adding a lot of players in the last meters, but at the same time, we didn't want to defend the box so close. We wanted to be, in a mid block, and then being aggressive with Rumi and McKenna, especially defending the outside center backs. And because it's the only way to defend. When the other team is adding a lot of players into the box and you are allowing them to put crosses, you can be weak And I think we did a brilliant job on that. We were defending in block, sometimes in a low block, but we were not giving them chances to put some crosses. And I am happy with the adaptation from the team. I think we have adapted so quick today. I am remembering also the game that we played in the beginning of the season against Orlando on the road. We had to do a lot of changes because the other team was putting more players in the last meters, and the adaptation that day was good, and today again. So it's a good example about what we have to do. Sometimes you have a game plan prepared. We did a good job on that, but when you have to change something, be able to adapt as quick as possible. We don't need to throw the keeper to the keeper down to let the players know what you have to do. We just move some pieces, we adapt so quick, and we play so well.
Appreciate it, Jonah. Safe trip back.
Thank you.
And Luis, take us home.
Coach, en la conferencia ahorita, Croy dijo que ella considera que este partido ha sido el mejor partido que han jugado en la temporada. No sé si estás de acuerdo con eso, y si tú eres de acuerdo con eso, ¿qué tú crees que fue verdad, lo que se mostró en el campo que la hace sentir así?
Sí, para mí sí ha sido el mejor partido, con diferencia, porque hemos estado 90 minutos a muy buen nivel. En la primera parte más a nivel ofensivo, bueno, y a nivel defensivo también, pero bueno, en la segunda parte sobre todo por cómo hemos defendido. Creo que hemos hecho un partido de mucho nivel hoy, y bueno, es lo que tenemos que seguir haciendo. Desde aquí, pues no conformarnos con esto y tener las ganas, la intención, el deseo de seguir creciendo como equipo, ¿no?
Muchas gracias y feliz viaje de regreso.
Gracias.
Thank you,
Que
Jonathan.
vaya
Thank you,
bien.
everyone.
Hasta
We will
luego.
see you in a few weeks.